On today's episode of Alpha Male Fan Fiction, I had to break up a physical altercation at the airport this morning. I don't fly Southwest, but I had to pass through the SWA terminal on the way to my gate. I was speeding down the moving sidewalk when I heard two raised male voices. "No, I'm 45. You're 44," a deep voice cried out. "Stay in your spot." Out of the corner of my eye, I saw two well-built, masculine guys squaring each other up in the boarding area. I quickly jumped off the moving sidewalk and approached them as the shoving began. "Just take the money," the taller man said as he waved what looked like several $100 bills in the face of his traveling companion. The other man smacked his hand away, and it appeared like an all-out brawl was about to ensue. I had to intervene. "Boys, boys, boys," I said as I wedged myself between the two burly men and held them apart at arm's length. I asserted my authority and quickly calmed things down. After a few moments and some deep breaths, I ascertained that their names were Garrett and Chad, and their disagreement stemmed from boarding positions. They both got up extra early yesterday to check in at the exact right time to be awarded boarding positions A45 and A47 as a show of support for their favorite president, Donald J. Trump. Unfortunately for Garrett, he was a millisecond too early and was awarded position A44. Chad, who was shooting for A47, was also premature but lucked out and received A45. The tension began almost immediately and has stewed for nearly 24 hours before things came to a head at the gate. Garrett was rightly pissed. Being assigned 44 instead of 45 is one of the downgrades of the century. Going from the best president to the worst is a crushing blow. Garrett started by offering $20 to swap boarding positions with Chad as soon as they arrived at the airport. The offers got bigger, and Chad's frustration grew with each successive offer until he finally snapped and smacked $500 in cash out of Garrett's hand right before I intervened. I took them aside, and we sat legs spread wide apart and had a heart-to-heart chat. Alpha males have to stick together. We can't fight each other and the radical left at the same time, I said. That is exactly what the feminists and woke Democrats won't. They nodded in agreement. I showed them how to order a copy of my newest book, Alpha Kings, featuring a foreword by President Donald J. Trump, available at alphakingbook.com. No apologies were issued, and the two shook hands and buried the hatchet. I walked them back to the boarding area. Just as I sent them on their way, I felt a delicate tap on my shoulder. "Mr. Adams, your flight is boarding soon," a fetching stewardess said. "I've come to escort you to your seat in first class." She handed me a hot black coffee, took my bag, and we headed off across the terminal. Alpha males support alpha males. Always. And scene.